Hello there. I'm Hannah. I know people don't like it when someone calls themselves beautiful, but for the next 10 minutes, I'm going to tell you about what a pain it actually is to be beautiful. I'll tell you about my own experiences so you can see that it's true. Unfortunately, that's part of my reality. I say unfortunately because I'm sick of being beautiful. In fact, I hate being beautiful now because of what happened last month. I'll tell you what made me delete my Instagram account in a minute. Why do you think I don't like being beautiful? There are so many reasons. Where do I begin? For example, people always stare at me. Doesn't matter if they are men or women, everyone does it. Some do it in a subtle way, and others just straight up stare. I'm used to it now, but in the past, when I was in a crowded place, I'd think, did I spill something on me? And go to the bathroom and check myself in the mirror. I'm a junior in high school now. How many boyfriends do you think I've had so far? Let me tell you, none. I've never had a boyfriend. Of course, I want to have a boyfriend. Sometimes there are guys that I like. In fact, there is one guy that I really like right now. But I can't trust guys because I know that they are interested in beautiful Hannah, not the real Hannah. You wouldn't believe how many guys ask me out. I know for a fact that most of them are not really interested in me. I'm beautiful, so they're trying their luck. If I accept, they get to show off to their friends. Maybe some of them actually do like me. But I'm so sure that most guys aren't really into me that I don't even notice the ones that are. For some reason, everyone thinks that beautiful girls only date popular guys. But the guy I'm into is actually really shy. So much so that he doesn't even notice the signals I'm sending him. I know he loves anime. And I do too. Once I tried talking to him and asked, is there a new anime that you'd recommend? He started stuttering. His face went completely red. Like I said, he's really shy, so when I asked him a question, his brain completely shut down. I realized that he was going to faint if I kept talking to him, so I pretended that someone was calling me and just left. In my previous school, I had a friend called Maggie. One day she said, Hannah, I have to make a confession. When we hang out, after a while, I start to think that I'm ugly. I am totally jealous of you. Like I kind of get annoyed with you because you're so pretty. She was very straightforward. She meant well when she said these things, but at the same time, I know a lot of other girls feel the same way. They see me as their competition. I do care about this stuff, but do you know what really pisses me off? People think that beautiful girls are stupid. A lot of people think that girls like me have no idea what's going on in the world and are totally brainless. I want to study nuclear physics in college just to prove them wrong. Maybe as a beautiful scientist, I can start changing these stereotypes. I mean, I do have an idea about how these biases form. Honestly, being beautiful makes life easier for women. People are nice to you just because you are pretty. Some things are offered to you on a gold platter without you having to put in any effort. Of course, this can make you lazy. If you just want an easy life, you start to use your looks instead of improving yourself. I'm totally not like those people. That's why I need to try to work extra hard to prove that I'm not just a stupid, pretty girl. On top of all this, I have some problems that are kind of funny. Like a lot of people will say, why don't you become a model? You have the perfect figure. Some immediately assume that you already are a model. And they don't believe you when you say you're not. They look at you funny. Are you sure? I feel like I've seen you somewhere, they say. Once I actually did get to walk the runway. A friend of my mom's who is a fashion designer insisted on it. She even made me take modeling lessons. Then the big day arrived. I was about to go on. I noticed that I was feeling nauseous when I was putting on the first outfit. I was really excited, so I didn't really think about it. I got on the runway. As I started walking, my nausea got worse. If I had stayed on the runway, I would have thrown up on someone. It would have been a total disaster. I ran to the bathroom and stayed there until the show was over, throwing up the entire time. So my first and probably last modeling experience lasted all of 5 minutes. I tell this story to those who tell me to become a model. They feel disgusted and change the subject right away. Another funny thing is that other women wonder if I've had plastic surgery. They mostly ask about my nose and lips. I say, what? No, I'm scared of stuff like that. But some don't believe me. They check out my nose for a while. They say stuff like, tell me the truth. If you've had work done, I want the name of the doctor. I used to get annoyed, but now I just laugh it off. Oh, here is another pretty girl problem for you. If you're beautiful, they don't allow you to look bad. What does that mean? Let's say I have a pimple on my nose. Everybody points it out. It's like they worry more than you do. They begin to give advice, saying things like, stop eating greasy food. Some even get upset with you about your pimple. I don't know why they got so sensitive, but this happens over and over. There was a time when I was wearing braces. So many people complained that I couldn't take it anymore and got them removed. I mean, I didn't really need them anyway. I just wanted to have them. At the time, people kept saying things like, they're making you look ugly. You don't need them. They don't suit you. Basically pressuring me to get them removed. All that I've told you so far shows how I feel about being a beautiful girl. To me, it is definitely not a good thing. What happened last month proved that I was right all along. If I wasn't someone who attracted attention, I'm sure this wouldn't have happened to me. In my previous school, I had a friend whose parents were divorced. One weekend, she was staying at her dad's. While she was showing him something on Instagram, he saw one of my photos. My account was private. He made up an excuse to borrow his daughter's phone, downloaded all of my photos from Instagram, and copied them to his phone. I don't know what kind of creep he is, but he went through all of my photos and figured out where I live. He became totally obsessed with me. I live really close to school, so I used to walk there. Another time, I was walking back home from school. I heard someone call out, "Hannah," from behind. I turned around, a stranger in his 40s. I waited to see what he was going to say. "Can we have coffee together?" he asked. I didn't say anything and just started walking really fast. I was really scared. I turned around a couple of times as I walked to see if he was following me. After a while, I just started running. I was used to guys my age asking me out, but I never experienced something like this before. I was going to tell my parents what happened, but I didn't want them to make a big deal out of it, so I ended up not saying anything. I wish I had told them because the following day, he came up to me again on my way to school. "I'm sorry about yesterday. I didn't mean to scare you," he said. I didn't say anything again and just walked away. He grabbed my arm. "Please hear me out. I'm in love with you. I'll wait for you to grow up," he said. I started crying, so he let go of my arm. I immediately ran away. Now I had a full-on stalker. I called my dad as soon as I got to school and told him what happened. He said he'd pick me up after school, but sent a text later saying, "I can't come pick you up. I'll see you at home." I was really scared, but had to walk home alone. I was constantly looking around me. I felt like he could come out of nowhere at any moment. I was almost home. He still hadn't appeared. But I saw him all of a sudden after I turned a corner. This time he had a bouquet of flowers. He was looking at me with a stupid smile on his face. I was so angry with my father for not coming to pick me up. He tried to hand me the flowers. "You're so beautiful. I just want to be friends with you. Don't be scared of me," he said. I was so afraid that I almost peed my pants.
Freeze!
Suddenly, 2 guys attacked him. One of them handcuffed him. Turns out they were undercover cops. Apparently, my dad made a complaint at the police station. Turned out what the creep was doing was a crime because I'm underage. The cops wanted to use me as bait to catch him in action. And my super smart dad agreed. I'm not sure if I made it clear, but this really wasn't some minor incident. This guy was really dangerous. The police raided his apartment. They said he made huge prints of all my Instagram photos. Can you imagine what he would have done if I kept rejecting him? Really scary stuff could have happened. Thankfully, I dodged the bullet. First thing I did after this was delete my Instagram account. I don't think I'll ever use social media again. I may not even take another selfie ever again. Now do you understand why I hate being beautiful? It brought me nothing but trouble. As if the other stuff wasn't enough, I had to deal with a real psycho. I'm sure some of you really care about the way you look. And some of you don't like the way you look. You must be really worried about it, which is normal at our age. But I hope my experience will help you see things from a different perspective. Thanks for listening to me. I feel so much better now that I was able to pour it all out. If you have similar stories, leave a comment or send an email to the address in the description box. If you want to hear more true stories, definitely subscribe to this channel. Bye!